Could do a decent warm up. What's that? They're 18 there.
So stop that.
Sound, did you say? Yeah. Sound. It's got a sound peak. Oh, yeah. Echo is there or something. Yeah, so I heard the echo.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne, a slightly sunburnt Matt Payne, because just been out on a site visit all day today. It's roasting out there. Andy Hawes already moaning that it's going to be red hot. The man currently in commissary jail for his inability to actually manage to finish a ride on camera. Now moaning that it's warm as well. Some people are not satisfied, even though he did manage to meet Tom Mazzoni out on the Peak District earlier on today and had some of the best scenery in the world. I don't know, some people are never happy. Never mind, Andy, onto the stage. We have some great courses lined up as part of the Tour de France on the Donny Chaingang, and I really was looking forward to having one of our more familiar stages in there. We've had all sorts of different ones. We've had our prologue time trial. We've been up onto the Douce France, which is the reverse with the flat finish for the sprinters. We've had our Ventoux. We only did it once, of course. The Tour did it twice with Wout van Aert taking that great victory up there, and Cavendish proving what an absolute star he is as well. And today we're on our transition stage. This is a very much a traditional breakaway type stage using the Casse-Pattes circuit, and we are heading out. We've got 48k, 46 or so is the total distance of the actual competitive part, or the non-competitive competitive part, before we get into the warm down at the end. And not too lumpy as well, but enough, I think, to break it up. So let's show you the stages that we have in total, because of course we kicked off with our prologue, then on to the Sprinters Fest, then it's on to the mountain stages with Ventoux, then into Breakaway territory today. Next week we're going on to our next mountain stage on Tuesday, and then of course finishing up on the Champs-Élysées area of Paris on the cobbles. But will we go the Champs-Élysées route, or will we do it the alternative way around? Well, the guys on the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club DCG gang, they already know, because they had it emailed directly to them. They get the inside track for basically helping us keep the show on the road. And to say thank you, every member who finishes the 6 stages and actually manages to get the pictures, etc., and completes all the other things that you need to do, they are in the draw at the end of them. We've got some great prizes. Got to say a massive thank you to the guys at Stellaton for the bottles, to Gritty, of course, for the socks, and Grand Tour Coffee, who have not only just sorted us out with some coffee for each of our finishers, but which Russ and I are going to be funding. But we've also, of course, got our spot prizes from them as well, one of which went out to Neil Mansfield last week for his basically ability to change a tyre, get it fixed and get back on the Chaingang and get the riding done, and to get the picture on the end, doing everything we needed him to do and more, going above and beyond. This week there's a number of contenders already. Daryl Tatchell for taking the bike and the turbo on holiday to the side of the pool. Absolute contender. We've got Simon Runnett, of course, contender, great ride done by him. Will he be the man who takes it away? Well, people still have this stage and all the pictures and all of the posts and all the stories to let us know. And who else will be checking it other than me? Well, the man who is going to be checking it other than me is none other than our yellow beacon. It is Russ Dowding. Russ, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm all good, mate.
It looks like it's filling up very rapidly in the pen, so there's going to be a few people out there on the course to choose from to see who's putting in a bit of a ride tonight.
Yeah, it's filling up nicely. I nearly missed the show, actually. I've just been to my niece's little, it's her birthday today, so got waylaid there till just after 5 o'clock. So, yeah, rushing around to get online, but happy birthday, Lily. And, it's all good fun.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes to go. She's very, very little, and not so little anymore. So, yeah, definitely on that one. Happy birthday, Lee, from me as well. And everyone on the gang, I'm sure. And I'm sure the Downing household across the way will be having great fun tonight. We've got a fun course that we do so many times, and we keep coming back because we love it. It's Casse-Pattes. Any thoughts on tonight, Russ, particularly?
Yeah, normally a firm favourite, but I'm feeling the running around in the heat. To be honest, my legs are like feeling a bit dead, but it's all good fun in it. So it might be a day to let Connor Swift go up the road or something and just chill out in the yellow jumper.
Well, that sounds. Do you know what? That sounds like a really good plan. I think that'll be mine. But I mean, whether it's yours, we will see. I'm going to let you go nice and early today, Russ, because we've run through this course so many times before, and you can go to breathe the troops with a little bit less time pressure than normal.
Yeah, I might just give them slow, slow, slow instead of go or something.
Do you know what? I think there'll be a few people happy for that after Tuesday up the Vonto. That is for sure.
I dipped out yesterday morning for an hour, and holy, my legs were in the bin, and I backed off. Well, I didn't back off. I did probably blow, but then I can still tap out a good tempo. I tried to go hard, and then I looked after Tom and got him more and deeper up the mountain. And then I was just trying to keep up with that group that I was in, really. So, some rides going up there, and it's good. FTPs, fun. Everyone hated it, loved it. So
exactly what the Donny Chaingang is all about.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right, we'll let you go. We'll go head off to the map. Cheers, Russ.
See you later, mate.
So great to catch up with Russ on the Chaingang, and Russ, of course, our yellow beacon. So let's bring you the details of where we're heading. Sure, pretty much everybody has it memorised by now. You don't need a photographic, cartographic memory to manage this one. So we're going to Casse-Pattes yet again. I love this because the graphics are all done for me really quite quickly, and it takes a little bit less prep, I must admit, which is one of the reasons I put it in midway through. So here we go. Stage number 4, week 2, Casse-Pattes. 0.9k leading from the Pens in towards the Marina Sprint, and then we head north up towards the island on the very flat roads. We go through the island around past Mont Saint-Michel and then head up inland. Now when we start going inland, the gradient starts to go up until we come in and through what is known as the Pavé Sprint, and then on to the mini climb of the aqueduct. Only a little kicker, not going to make much difference hopefully on lap number 1, but lap 2 always tricky. Then the second red section is the Petite KOM. Now this comes at a critical point and is long enough to do damage even on lap number 1, so the group's going to have to stay together as they haven't been given the signal. From there it's all downhill into the finish. It's literally downhill to the river crossing. So once you get to the top of that second red section where our blue dot is now and you start heading down, it is absolutely flat stick into the finish, which comes really, really quickly. Now, I've got to say a massive thank you to Zwift Hacks on there, and of course to the guys at Zwift Insider for all the inside information, and of course to Carl Johnson, who's our red beaker today. Carl, a regular on Chaingang since pretty much I think day one. Absolutely brilliant to have Carl in there. So let's show you the profile. Remember, our profile was really steep. It was basically just all uphill last time. This time we go round the route. Now we've twisted it round a little bit. We start in the middle of the bottom section and then we move our way across from there to the riders who are out. So the riders head out from that start section and they move across in towards the island. That's the bottom left on this particular screen. Then we head across and round. And you see it is essentially pancake flat for the first section, the first 12k pancake flat. We then climb up over the 13k mark up on the aqueduct. We drop back down at 14k. Couple of k of flat before we then go and take the left turn up, and as you can see from the colour of the gradient, 10s, 12, 13% on that Petite KOM, but once we're on the top, that fast long run down into the finish. Now looks like most of the riders out from the Pens, which is always a good sign, and looks like we've got a few more of our regular riders in there as well, which is great to see. So I think pretty much everybody out and on the course, which is what we want to see, and I think the riders just regrouping before they head down into the start finish line. So let's take a little bit of a look across here, and you can just see our camera just out and rolling at the moment. So the group on its way down. You can see across there the yellow beacon, so that yellow pillar of light coming down is right over the top of Russ, the red one over the top of Carl Johnson, and we're going to go dive right into the middle of the bunch right here on the Donny Chaingang on the Down Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. So our riders on the way through here, on the way through that Marina sprint at the moment. They're going to be taking that right-hand turn any second, and a little spread out at the moment, but not looking too bad. And this is the start of the lap, 23 Ks each lap. And as you see at the moment, everybody just getting themselves into gear, trying to get themselves into the pack. Just keeping an eye on Caroline Mansfield actually at the moment. That's where our cameras are focused in the bunch. And Caroline, of course, very, very quick rider indeed. And the head of Gritty, who are one of our Tour de France sponsors. And Caroline in that orange, white and black kit on the way through. Just seeing Miss Cookie with us, I think, as well as Sonia Inslee. Hartley Hobbs in here as well. Sonia, of course, out and racing yesterday. So did the climb on the Tuesday, then went out and did a hill climb on Wednesday, and then was mad enough to rejoin us here on the Donny Chaingang today. So that is definitely some going. So well done to Harley, to Sonia for doing that. And we're just having a hunt for Sonia or Harley, who are both out on the course. Let's have a little bit of a check. So if we take a look across at Sonia here on the course, Sonia already well up to speed, and nice choice of bike there. Nice aero wheels with an aero frame, but not the most aerodynamic in terms of things like a disc. Discs just a little bit too slow as you go up the hillside. So definitely one of my favourite bike combinations. The other popular bike combination tonight will be the Tron bike that you can see here coming through in the orange, and the Tron bike, of course, the overall fastest bike on Zwift, but not particularly good at one solo thing. It is good at just about everything, but it's not the best, that is for sure. Now, looks like those gaps are opening up between the riders. Now, getting word that the one and only Bryce Smithy is on the coverage. If Brian is in here, Brian has been doing the business, and great to see the word is going in. And let's have a little bit of a hunt, see if we can find Keith Hayward just in this group. Let's see if Bryce Smith is in the whereabouts in the gang he is. So Brian back in with us. Brian, of course, the man on the coverage of the Tour de France, and fantastic to see Brian in here as well. Just getting that word that it is well and truly split apart at the front. Just taking a little look, the gang at the front are not particularly pushing the numbers, but it has caused a bit of a split further back. Shelley Charles and Simon Runnett on the way up. It looks like Craig Herring really just backing off, backing out the pace a little, just to try and get that group to reform. And you can see from the map, it is a bit all over the place tonight. For a very steady start on the flat, it's not steady. It is chase the ball up at the front. It's under nines football, and definitely not football match. Looking forward to Sunday night, must admit. Going to be very interested. I'm actually working on an event on Sunday, and then going to be driving back up, so I'm going to be listening rather than watching. Although I must admit, I was very tempted to set the event off and go watch at Nonna's in Sheffield. And Russ and I were joking that may well be the place to watch the whole gang. So seeing Mr. Housing here with Carl Johnson. So Craig Herring asking, have you seen the sign in Eckington? I had the pleasure of going past it today. For those people who don't know it, not very far from where I am, it's a street called Southgate. And guess what? Somebody has put a new top to the sign to call it Gareth Southgate. You'll find it on the Sheffield Star pages, on some of the national picture pages of the newspapers, but it is very, very funny, and absolutely all credit to whoever it was went out and put that on there. Now, watching the gang roll along, and remember this is all about keeping it nice and smooth. There's plenty of tired legs out there. Looks like the front's still pushing on a little bit. Russ sitting in with this Chris Darby's in here. Just got Russ nicely tucked in with them as well. Russell Osman's in here. Mr. Briggs is in here, and Briggs, of course, put in a great ride. Only I think he's second, if not third, Chaingang on Tuesday night, and we go and push him right up to the top of the Von Top, almost the climb up to Chalet Renard La Rienne, the route, and doing a great ride, quickly settling in and really getting it riding in with the bunch, and then waiting for the signal from Russ. Ben Cokin in the group. Good to see Ben's back in here. Burko's back with us as well. John Finney in here. Chris Darby. Sonia, we've jumped on. Tim Cooper. Tim, thank you very much for your chat earlier on. We're doing some little bit of tech investigation to take a little bit of a look into the future. Nick Dorsey in here as well. Good to see Nick is in. Hopefully living up to his tag of the best dressed man in cycling. We'll see if he's managed that. Almost. So just having a little look. Mr. Sutcliffe is in here. Miss Cookie in with the gang. Good to see Sarah in here now. This rider's a real inspiration. Really lucky to see her in action on the slopes of the National Mountain Bike. And good to see Sarah back out and riding, putting in a phenomenal ride. There was plenty of people didn't even take to the start line on the course. It was that tough, and Sarah rode not just to the start line, but rode all the laps and finished, doing an amazing job. Great to see. So just going to take a little bit of a look further back down the bunch, just watching the numbers as we go down. Looks to me like Kieran Brown is just sat. He's going to do a bit of an effort to get back onto the back of the bunch. Now, let's have a little bit of a look. Remember, as Craig says, DCG is stronger together. So Teresa Charland at the moment just having to push to get into the back of the group. I think Carl Johnson just dropping back to go give Teresa a hand. May well be that we need one or two people more to go back at the moment. One man, it's very hard for one person to pull riders back on. So if we do have any bods on the listening on and watching on the live feed, Craig, I think he's on his way back. Good man, they're about 3 seconds behind you, mate. 4 seconds, here they come. So Teresa and Carl Johnson there, the guys. Mr. Richardson doing the same again. Fantastic stuff. This is what we want. We want a few bodies dropping back and then pick it all back up again. Ignore the man at the very back, Mr. Brown, because Kieran can get himself back on again. We know that. So good to see Greg Pillsworth doing the business as well. Look at that. One appeal goes out. Loads of people head back to go give them a hand to come back into the group. Shelley Charles doing the same as well. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what the DCG is about. I'm going to call it down. I'm going to go now. I don't need to say anymore. That is absolutely nailing why we love the DCG. I've had the pleasure of bumping into a couple of people today for work on site at a new venue, and it was absolutely a pleasure to tell them I was so proud of the Chaingang and the riders. So our riders on the way over the bridge. You can just see Carl Johnson here, our red beacon, bringing the back of the group back together again. Fantastic to see here on the Donny Chaingang. Well done to our riders dropping back there, giving Carl a hand. It's really interesting. The dynamics are definitely different with the smaller groups. We do find more people getting distanced, and it's much harder to get on. There's less draft effect at the back of the pack. So when we've got a big group of maybe 300-400 riders, the back of the pack is really much easier to ride in. It's just easier to sit in, and if you're struggling, you've generally got a little bit more assistance. Now, when we've got to the numbers we've got now, it's definitely not the case that that is happening, because all of a sudden you can be distanced really easy. You can see the gaps are opening up here, even on a rider of the caliber of Russ. So if we pull up the display on here, you see there's just a little bit of a split between the red and yellow beacon group and the group in front. So just going to jump up overhead, and you can see those gaps just opened in front here. The riders working hard to close that gap down. Rob Wimble in this group, Keith Richardson, Tom Lindley. Now Lindley did a ride, that is for sure, on Tuesday, getting himself up as we just start to go over these slight rises now. If you take a look at the map, you'll see we are just about to start to head inland proper. So we've got rise up, drop down over the bridge, rise up, over the bridge, and then inland, and that's when things start to get a little bit trickier to hold everyone together. At the moment, people warming up, but it looks like John Finney, another of our regular beacons, and Eddie Dench all sitting in with Carl Johnson, and Kieran Brown from Casse-Pattes just having to push his way back. Looks to me like Jeff Sasel's just on his way to try and join the group. So Jeff on a definite late start there. So good to see Jeff is coming back into us. He's pushing on at 4 watts per kilo. Now the question is, can we do this more than once? Can we bring people out? He's a long way back at the moment. Let's see where he gets to. Just seeing a number of riders getting dropouts on the way through as well. So Carl's just on his way back. Be warned, Carl, that Jeff can push 4 watts per kilo. So if you go back, it's going to get very, very tricky. So good to have Isaac Oliver here. Isaac coming and joining us, another of our younger riders joining in the Chaingang again. Good to see he's back in. Not necessarily, of course, suit him as much as normal, but we'll see how he gets on. It's like Bryce Smithy just sitting down around Russ at the moment, and Jeff Sasel, who we're on with at the minute, he's starting to close that gap down. He's at 17 seconds. He's just coming on to Carl now. So this is 2 riders. We've got any more volunteers to drop back? That's the question. I did warn you, Carl. Jeff is on a bit of a mission here. No pressure, mate. But you've got to get back on. You look at the power that Carl's having to kick out here. Jeff is on a mission here to get back on. Carl's having to, he's just kicked out 8 watts per kilo here. He's having to do a sprint just to get on Jeff Sasel's wheel. Jeff, easy, Tiger. Give Carl a chance. He's come to help you out. You might be just dragging him off the back. Now, Kieran Brown's gone back. Looks like Keith Richardson's just dropped back. Greg Pillsworth's dropped back again. Just having a little look. Therese just jumping onto the back. So it looks like the group just fracturing a little as well. Looks like Mr. Wimble just eased off a little bit back here. So Mr. Richardson now, this is where the sweeping starts. This is where they start to sweep each other back up. And going to be working the way back up onto the front, bringing everybody in here. Greg Pillsworth, look, Keith, who has gone back. Looks like Carl Johnson just getting a nice sweep back in as well. So the gang are just starting to sweep the way back up towards the yellow beacon and the red beacon. Cheers for the message, Russ. Thank you very much. Okay, here comes the gang on the way up. They're making the way in towards the back of the corner of the group. The riders, though, do have 1 or 2 people dropped to the back, but the one that we're not worried about is Kieran Brown. Just seen, looks like Miss Cookie getting real power dropouts here, jumping in and out, and looks like that certainly is a little bit of TLC. Meanwhile, just with Teresa at the back of this group, trying to push on. Teresa Shalland here from Wales, just pushing on with the back of the gang here. Just seeing Cookie just get is that a monstrous dropout for Cookie? I think it is. I know Sarah's usually rolling along well. Then we've got Carl here. So this is our chasing group. Brian, not a chance. I'm loving the TCG too much to go do Eurosport. I'll leave that to you boys, believe me. Brian has the Palmares and the experience to know exactly what he's talking about, and I think the team of Brian and Rob, probably my dream team at the moment on their best day, but Sean is definitely a bit of a legend, even though I agree with everyone's comments. He can have his moments of treating to understand. He's very insightful, but the whole team working hard, and I don't think anybody really appreciates how hard it is to keep it all together and watch the commentary on the tiny screen. And the whole coverage at the moment, for me, the Eurosport coverage, absolutely top dollar. It is absolutely superb, and it has made watching the Tour de France an absolute pleasure. So I'm looking forward to watching more of that and playing catch up after the weekend, no doubt. So here we go, gang on the way to get back together again. Carl Johnson doing a great job at the moment. He's got a course that means that riders do get shelled fairly easily out of the group. We've got small numbers here. He's having to bring them on. So here we go, the group at the back, the Red Beacon group, starting to work together again, trying to bring our riders back up in front. Carl Johnson leading that group. Got Shelley Childs just sitting in front of the Beacon here, doing a great job pulling them on. Looks like Dan Coleman is here as well. Dan just hovering around, trying to drag them back up again. Keith Richardson doing the same as well. Greg Pillsworth just rolling at the back of the bunch. So Keith just dropping back for Coleman and Charles and Johnson. This is what we love on the Chaingang. You watch these strong riders, people like Keith Richardson. He's one of the real fast men, doing a great job. We're going to give him a ride on as the game goes. And there he goes, right on top. And Keith with a disc setup on that bike at the moment. So just seeing Mr. Coleman just trying to push on through. Every time the rider's coming through, it's giving draft to the rest of the riders who are behind. Here's Charles at the moment, and this slight drag going into town, in towards the pavé sprint, starting to distance riders. Carl here pulling along, and you can see on the flat it really is hard. The guys have to push really hard if you're lighter. So Carl is going to weigh just a little bit. If you look at the size of his forearms, and you look at the size of Teresa's forearms, give you an indication of their relative sizes here. And that means on the flat that Teresa has to push much bigger watts out per kilo to stay with Carl. Carl basically on the flat to do, let's say 200 kilos, could be maybe up 2.5. Teresa to do 200 kilos could be up 4 watts per kilo to get those 200 watts out, and that makes a huge difference. So the group coming back together here, nice group of 4 here. So Charland in here, Teresa Charland in the yellow, Keith Richardson just rolling the front along, and then it's Carl Johnson in there, and then I think we're going to see Keith on his way back on. These 4 riders just pushing hard here, trying to get into the back, and just seeing a little bit of a sprint from the riders behind the main group. So if we look at Kieran Brown, Kieran's coming like a rocket from behind the pack, and this is the way to do a sprint, get the maximum pace and not distance the group. So go out the back, come through the line, and as soon as you go through, ease off and look at those watts per kilo, straight down to 0, takes a super fast jersey on the way through, and guess what, still buried in the middle of the pack, textbook stuff. So if you want to do a sprint, drop off the back, then you use the riders. You can put some really fast times doing that. Now Keith Richardson just trying to close in on the back of the pack. Looks like Colin Bell just taking a little bit of a drop out here. So Pillsworth sat in the back of the bunch. Going to need a bit of a regroup from everybody after that little bit of an acceleration by the guys on the front. Taking a look at Cannon just rolling in front of the gaps here. Rush is calling for a regroup here as they go through. They've currently got 11 seconds on this chasing group of 4 riders. It's currently being led out by the gang, and Kieran running out of gears on the MTB. So I've been around to see Kieran's setup. I can vouch for the fact that his numbers are real and that he weighs exactly what it says on the tin as well. Physically had a little bit of a check out whilst I was around there. Absolutely flying, and his setup replicates his mountain bike position because Kieran competes on the mountain bike. What he's got an older mountain bike set up on the turbo with a direct drive turbo. So the power that's coming out the back end, bang on, absolutely nailed in, calibrated, but uses the mountain bike to get position. Downside is gearing is a bit lower, and that means when he tries to sprint through, he is going to run out of that gears at the very top end. Just taking a little bit of a look at the women's times through there. We've got Sonia Inslee, then Caroline Mansfield, and then Teresa Charland as our 1, 2, 3. Tim Cooper, I'm not going to turn up at set scales at your door. That's not going to happen. Not you. A few others. So you round here too often fixing tech for us. So loving the messages on the message board. Matt goes around and does house calls only when you're very bad. Believe me. Don't weigh yourself more. It's only a game. It's not real. Right, let's have a little look at this group at the back. Now, Beefy dropped out with power. Looks like Teresa just getting some company from in the shape of Shelley Charles here. And shows you Teresa's pushing on the numbers here at 2-6, but not getting on the way up to the group here. Carl just trying to push on a little the group, though, moving up on to the aqueduct climb here, and this is where the riders will be going up over the top. I think there's going to be a call for a regroup. I think they could bring all of the riders back on. Teresa's not all that far out the back there, and all they need to do is to just ease off a little bit, I think, and bring that whole group back together. The riders at the back just behind our red beacon, so a bit of an easing over the top will see this group come back together, but it's going to take a bit of discipline from the Chaingang as they pass along. Remember, in the background, Von 2 looms over the top of the riders where we were on Tuesday, going up to the line where we'd come out of the vegetation and up on to the top. So on towards the aqueduct KOM, not enough hopefully to split the group, and riders pushing to get into the back. I think as just says, a regroup on the top once you're through the line is going to be coming up from our riders as they go across this fantastic piece of Roman architecture. Handed the Romans to build a little bit of a jutting out bit of the wall there, just so that the archway would fit as well. Very thoughtful of them and insightful with all that time. So good to have Stefano watching in, Stefano Borelli, with some great pictures of the Italian shed. Don't forget, of course, Nonna's great supporters of cycling in the Sheffield area and around the whole of Yorkshire. And don't forget, of course, big supporters of Donny Chaingang, and good to see the pictures from our prize winners calling it, and lots of other members as well. Make sure you get those pictures out onto the Facebook page. It's always great to see when that group all descends on there. We're looking forward to our next trip. They're really busy at work, unfortunately not able to get there too soon, but as this group continues onwards, it's certainly looking pretty busy at the moment, with some big old time gaps really in between these riders. It's fracturing again on this climb. So we're going to drop back first of all to our red beacon, and let's get some numbers up on the screen. So the red beacon has Jeff Cecil at about 6 seconds in front, and Liam Calloway at 8, Keith Richards at 11, and the main bunch sitting about 16. Keith Richardson, Shelley Charles, looks like Teresa in there. Colin from Cycleways, I think, is out of the running. So Shelley and Teresa just coming onto the back of the group here, or to the back, sorry, of Richardson. So Richardson and Carl Johnson are going to see them, and this is a really, this could be a really nice group here. The initial group of 4 on the way back up. So Saysel at the moment having to try and do a bit of a turn to push in, and then Liam Callaway just off the back of that main pack. Looks like Keith Rich is doing the same. Briggs just about in, but it is really fractured through here, so I think a little bit of regroup is going to be required, otherwise we're going to hit the climb spread out, and then it's going to get worse from there on in. So just watching our riders here, just trying to get themselves up. The group are well and truly spread all over the road here. This chasing group coming back together again, and I think they're going to get Sheldon joining just behind them as they make their way up in towards the turns. And just seeing Harley Hobbs here, absolute class act on a bike, just having to join that group. We're just going to run up the road a little bit. So just watching Nick Dorsey sitting on the back of this group here. A bunch all strung out as they take that left-hand turn up onto the climb. So just taking a look, looks like that group reforming steadily, and just seeing Carl and Harley Hobbs getting themselves back into the back of this pack here at the moment. So just seen Harley come in, we've just seen Miss Cookie get in and onto the back and the back of the group is almost in there now. Just watching for a couple of riders. So everyone just about together. The pace has almost eased. Got a few people on the back just feeling the pressure, particularly after that chase. So there was a really hard chase for those riders at the back of the group. But looks to me like almost everybody back together again. So the Chaingang up. This is as near as we're going to come to the side of the Vontu. When we come up on to the top of the climb, our riders will be heading across and underneath the face of it, but they can see it in the distance behind them, looming over them as they head up onto the climb. At the top, we're going to be taking a right-hand turn, and then we're going to be dropping back down in towards that start-finish line. So good to see Martin Bolt back on the Chaingang once again. Martin, one of our real regular riders on the Chaingang, almost a perennial red beacon for a while. It looks like he's just sitting in the back with that red beacon. The party bus, I think, equipped with Jaffa Cakes and tea today with Carl. I'm not surprised. Jaffa Cakes, I'm surprised I'm actually not there already. So just seeing riders start to get distance off the back of the group here, and that is a clear indicator that the pace is starting to hot up at the moment. Remember, this is about pushing on if you're at the back and easing off if you're on the front. Get the group, get the gang together, and that gang can work harder and better together. It's stronger for everybody. We've got some great riders, lots of people who've been racing as well as going out and training on the gang. Lots of people using it as a recovery ride as well as a race training. So lots of different people using it for different reasons. Thank you everybody who's on the Chaingang for making it what it is, but this is all about trying to keep everybody together on the climb and then on the run down and in until Russ calls it, and that will be on Russ's command. So the bulk of the group together as we come around this turn at the moment, and the Vontu in the distance behind the riders. Not going up there today, thank goodness. This climb features in the route that we used on Tuesday because we came up the gorge and then took a right turn onto this instead of taking the long way around and taking the left onto the Petite KOM. So just taking a look, I think Carl Briggs just feeling the pace. Carl Johnson behind as well with Miss Cookie. So 3 riders at the moment, just being distanced off the back of the big pack in front. As we go up on to these turns, you can see the height we've been gaining as we've come away from that shoreline and inland on the Donny Chaingang. We pull up the numbers and zoom the map back out again, and you're going to see we are nearly at the top. We have 2 more right turns and 2 more left turns to come now in that order before we get to the top. So just taking a look, see if anybody's heading back. Looks like Mr. Flynn just feeling the pressure at the moment at the top. Got the feather in, 10% off your body weight on the climb. Little group forming behind here. We've got Johnson and Cookie in that group. Not too far to hold it together, guys. We've got a left turn, a right and a left. That's not all that far to bring it into the top. Can we get a regroup of our red beacon behind before they get there? It's only a few seconds, but can the group work together to help bring it in? Well, it's not going to be too long till we find out. Great What's for Kilos coming out here. Looks like Carl kicking out 3s, Miss Cookie kicking out 2.5, 2.6. So this duo pushing on as they come up the climb here. And just seeing the distance, the shoreline down there. So if that front takes it steady. Oh, and the go-go-go's gone. Oh, that is mean. So the go-go-go has gone. And I'll tell you who could be in trouble here. It's Kieran Brown here, because it's gone before the top. Everyone was expecting it to wait. And the go-go-go has gone. And that is harsh. He's hit it before they hit the very top. Look at the explosion in this bunch. This could be breakaway time, and Brown is panicking here. He's got to get back on this. It's absolutely flat out here, because everybody knows they've got to be on. And look at this. Russ has hit him hard. He's hit him early, and he's opening the gaps now. Look at this. Burko is having to go absolutely flat chat. 12 watts a kilo coming out from him. We're riding in with Kieran Brown as they come over the top, but they have absolutely shelled riders on there. So the pin went early from Russ. Who poked the bear? Well, whoever it is, it's your fault. Look at this. You can see the work that is being done here, trying to close down on the beacon at the front. And Tatchell Waller absolutely tried to nail this. So the front of the ride here is going to be Mr. Coleman in here. He's absolutely nailing it. So this is our leading group on the front here. And you can see Mr. Lindley is in there. Who did that? That is harsh. That is really, really harsh. I don't know who poked that bear. They absolutely set him up for a real mean mood today, and it has gone pop. So this is where we see who recovered. And look at this, Brown at the moment, one of our firm favourites when it goes uphill, has gone. Neil from the crosscast chasing hard here. Looks like Kooslugs is in here, Conley's in here, and it's absolutely flat stick. Isaac Oliver chasing, Dorsey's chasing here, Dixon Moore's chasing, and it looks like even Andy Hawes are struggling to keep on the pace. Come on, Smithy, get your finger out here, mate. This is where you've got to show you got the can walk the walk as well as talk the talk. Has he still got it in his legs? I feel sorry for Brian. He spent a long time in the studio, a long time cramped up. Oh, and look at that. Russ blaming Smithy. This is absolutely harsh. Wow, he's gone early, he's gone hard, he's put gaps in. They are absolutely smashed across the hillside. There is nothing left of the peloton. And look at this, the gang are working out. Looks like Flint and Cookie could well be making a dynamic duo on the way down here. I think Herring is now going to be watching the tour on mute after that. Well, I don't blame you, mate. It ain't easy. It is the Donny Chaingang, and someone poked the bear. That one was Bryce Smithy, and we've got to say thanks to Bryce for all of the subtle plugs on the coverage as well, or use of the copyrighted phrases. But look at that now. This is where these riders really do need to work. Flynn and Cookie together here. Then Johnson is up the road. He's going to be mopping up people like there's no tomorrow here. We got Bolt on his own. Taylor has got Killingsworth. Look at this. And then we got Cannon. Then we got Ainsley's group up here. Looks like Caroline Mansfield in with Ainsley. We got Carl Briggs in here. Look, just taking a run up the road here. 14 seconds up. You got the Haywood group. Got Harley Hobson here. Let's take a little bit of a check. Cooper and gang at the front of that group. Brian Smithy's group's at about 11 seconds behind. In front of them, 6 seconds up the road is the Callaway group. 7 seconds up the road is this chasing group here. And look at this, Kieran Brown now trying to make his way back in. And if we just take a look on the camera angle, you can just see our leading group at the front going on to the bridge, and that is Brown in the green about to make contact with the bear with the yellow over the top of the grey jersey there. So Kieran Brown finally makes contact. That chasing group are working their socks off at the moment to get back in with them. And look at this, Coleman continues to push on here. So as they're about to make contact, Coleman is trying to distance them. So look at this, that initial breakaway of 2 is now being joined. We now have about 12, 13 riders in this group, and it's suddenly got a lot bigger. In the meantime, I think it's going to be Coleman on his way through here, but everybody wants to be in this group. Not everybody has made this group, and that was a mean bear. Bad bear. There we go. Through the line we go. There's some personal best times coming in around the course. Not surprised. Right, let's see if we can pick up with the bear, who I think is still able to speak. Let's have a little look. Russ, are you there? You got yourself to blame, you muppet. You
poking the bear from straight out of the blocks.
Well, I think you've dealt him a harsh one, because look at this. That is absolutely mental. The pace at the front is going here. Any gaps open, and you're in danger of being distanced here, Sunshine.
I need to concentrate. I think I got distracted. 5 beats a minute increase when I get on the phone to you. I've got many left.
Well, yeah, you got plenty. You're only on 128, young fella like you, mate.
Hey, 140 it hurts nowadays.
Well, that's the perils of getting old, I guess. Oh, take the drone camera underneath the bridge, otherwise we'll crash it. So the rider, this is you're in the leading group here. You sat at the back. Don't get too distracted. And now this is all about how far behind is that chasing group. They're currently sitting at about 18 seconds. Now, this group, it is a relatively big group here that's just come through here, but I don't think it's as big as the group that you're in. Let's take a little bit of a look here. No, so your chasers behind Russ, currently sitting at about 18 seconds to you minimum. This is the group with Dave Ambrose in here, Seycel's in here as well. But it's only 8 riders, so the odds are in your favour at the moment. But behind them, I think Simon Runnett is coming, and then behind them you've got to drop all the way back for Andy Hawes and Brian Smith's group. So for all that early talk and all that early stretching the legs out, look at this. They're out of the distance. They're about to actually get caught by the Paul Coleman, Shelley Charles and Mick Clark group.
I just want to say move up, Brian. That's all I want to say.
Well, that'll teach him. So the distance currently from Brian Smith to Russ at the moment is now sitting at just under 1 minute, 53 seconds back at the moment.
I'm sure he's going to play it on the back signal from GCN HQ apartment down there or something.
Yeah. We've heard it all before. Let's see what happens now.
We've used them, mate. We've used them, so you can't fool us, can you?
No, exactly. We can see all of the kit. We can see who's riding what at the moment. I think Andy Horsey is the man in danger here with this group. He's not sitting in. I know Horsey is out on tour, so he's not going to have the same amount of fan to cool him down. And at the moment, Horsey just getting back on again. Davis now in danger of being shut in. Shelley Childs, the man who's normally right up there, just making it onto the bridge.
Yeah, you're there saying Andy Hawes is in trouble. I was out the back when you were saying that.
Well,
relax a little bit, think all these boys will pull me along. I'm going to concentrate here, so I'm going to get spat.
Well, there are people getting distanced in between. So, Horsey and all of this group at 1 minute. Russ, we're going to dive back in. Get your breath back, and we'll catch up with you in a minute.
Yeah, don't ring me for another 23k.
Not going to guarantee that one. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So here we go. This is what it's all about. The gangs are reforming, the groups are forming, and this is where we're going to see. Let's see who we have up the road. We've got 9 seconds from this small group here to the chasing group behind. Now, this is a game of odds here because we have in this group 2, 4, 6, 8 riders. Not good odds when they are up against the chasing group behind that looks like this. This is a big pack with plenty of firepower. 7 seconds the gap between them. This is going to sweep into a massive group number 2. That puts the advantage in there. And just seen Borges get a drop out. I think just in with Osman at the moment. So look at this. This is all about holding your nerve. This group are chasing. They're getting it down to nearly at 6-7 seconds to this group. This is group number 2 up the road though. You can see this is the leading group. Meanwhile, people are starting to put in the moves on the front here, and Kieran Brown just stretching it out a little bit here, so he's in front of the group. Maybe he doesn't want to bring them all into the climbs in one go. Craig Herring trying to come across here, and Craig has gone across. You can see the danger. He's sprinting across, and that is the key. If you sprint across, you'll not take people back across to it. They have to do the work themselves. You sprint across, you jump onto the back wheel, you then ease off, and then you let them give the roll. Now it looks to me like Herring has gone across, and he's going to let everybody else now do the hard work behind. They're 3 seconds behind our 2, but this breakaway group, this leading breakaway group, there is 2 riders being chased now, and the chasers behind, they contain people like Mr. House in there. We've got Neil from the Crosscast in here, and Neil's never afraid to chase hard on the front. Looks like Rob Taylor's here, Craig Genther in, and just seen a big kick from Craig here. He's determined to pull this duo back at the moment. Russ going with him at the moment, so this is going to make the 2 of them together. Russ is going across, and you see riders just getting across one by one by one, and it's strengthening the front group. So that move by Brown is doing what he wanted. He's pulling the strong riders out of the bunch. Now comes Mason, the fat cyclist, then Daryl Tatchell-Waller. They've got across the gap behind. The riders are spread out at the moment, and this is where you see the gaps really start to open up. If we go up in the air, you can just see who's made it. It's Mason, it's Daryl Tatchell-Waller, it's Herring, it's going to be Brown on the road, then Dench, Howes, Coleman, Genther, Downing, and it has split the group, and the group behind are currently being distanced here. They've got to try and get across here. Looks like Kai Hurst on the front trying to do the work to try and get them across. Then it's Orrell behind him, then Conley, then Martin, and then Kooslugs is here. Despite doing Land's End to John O'Groats, Kooslugs has still got some serious speed in his legs here. Well, this is good going. It's clearly somebody who goes much better on a hard workout, and at the moment we're just going to take a little bit of a look at the back. I think it's Greg Pillsworth who is the rider on the back, and he could be in trouble here. He's at 4.6 watts per kilo. Now they've got 44 seconds on this chasing group. Behind though, the gap really has come down, so this is the chase. This is that big chasing group on its way now. So we can see it's 3 seconds now, the gap to the group in front, and this big pack are coming back towards them at some pace here. So it looks like Tim Cooper in here, Mick Clark in here, Mr. Pritchard is in here, Derby in this group as well, and I think it's not going to be long before they make contact with the riders in front here. So let's get that drone camera up. Look at that gap. It has absolutely been annihilated. And this is going to be group number 2 here. So look at this. Group 2 has got much bigger. The Downing group just about holding its own, not challenging anyone despite those repeated attacks at the moment. And it's just quietened off a little bit in that leading bunch. However, this group now reformed. This is where you're going to see a split, and you're likely to see some people chase through and other people come off the back. So this is where it's going to be really tricky now. Who can stay with the pace? There's a big effort being put in to catch these riders, and we're starting to see people come off the back. Now's the time to push in, guys. Push into this group. It's a big group. You get distance from this, you are in major trouble. You've got to be in here. And I think it's Coleman at the moment who's got a little bit of a gap. I think he's just about closed it down here. Stevens and Charles are with him now. They really have to work here. They cannot let this gap go. And Coleman's going to make the junction here. This is all about getting this group together. So they've got the main pack back together again. Behind them, though, the gaps have opened, and it's coking Ferren and Donny are in there, so they've got to get the finger out now. Ferren doing a great ride here. Is he going to be able to pull this back in? You're just keeping an eye on these riders. They've got to get there. Vin's done his bit. He's absolutely in pieces here. And Vin did a huge amount of work, but now he's paying the price for it as they get distance here. They've got to get back on again. Is anybody going to get him back in? They're on the way through here. Now looks like Hayward has been distanced from this group. So Hayward already distanced. Ferren at the moment with Stevens just hanging off the back here. Kokin just about hovering. It's 1 second. He could almost reach out and touch them. But you know what? He's got to get across. If he gets distance, he's not going to be able to get back. The gap is still sat there. And this is where you need a sprint. Kokin has got to sprint. It's worth it just to get into this group. He needs assistance as well. And these three have really got to push here. Come on, Ben. Time to give it some. Come on, Sean. Big kicks here. This is about what it's about. If you can get back in, you're going to be with them for a while because you're going to be able to take advantage from this. At the moment, it's Stevens now who's got to respond. Stevens has to pick this up here. He's in danger of getting distance from the group. The leaders are pretty much all together. Just taking a little bit of a look at the time checks. So 1 minute 34 up the road. Now I think we've just lost Tom Holmes out of that leading group. So Holmes has gone. But look at this. Ferren and Stevens. They were there. They were hovering. The gap has come up. They're at 5 seconds. Game over. That's it. They're out of the group. Kokin here still persisting onwards, but he's doing all of the work. He's doing more work than the rest of them. Look at the numbers. 3.5, 4, 3.8. He's constantly trying to push in. He's got to get into the back of that pack. He cannot sustain this pace. He's going to be in trouble. And if that happens, he's going to be heading backwards towards Stevens and Ferren, who are just coming round the turn behind him very quickly. He's put the feather in. He's waiting for this slight ascent on his way up here. It's not aiding him enough here. And if we take a look back from Cooper here, you can see the gap has gone. So Kokin now at 4 seconds, Ferren at 10 seconds, Hayward is at 31 seconds. Hayward's got a group behind him. So has Finney. They're at about 17, 18 seconds. And this is the one with Bryce Smith in here. Brian's in this one. Mr. Richardson's in this group. I think Sonia Inslee in this group. Caroline Mansfield in this group. Harley Hobbs in here. So a real class group here. Then we've got the pack in front. This is group number 2. Group number 2 already in there now. We're going to take a little bit of a run up the road. We're looking for Mr. Holmes now. Holmes 32 seconds off the group in front. That's popped legs from Tom Holmes now. So Tom Holmes 30 seconds up on Simon Runnett, who's leading that chase behind. He's 28 seconds down on Rich Orrell. Orrell now paying the price for trying to stay with that leading group. Kai Hurst paying the price of trying to stay with the leading group. Pillsworth just about hovering around the back here, and Pillsworth, you can see that gap is going. It is absolutely brutal. There is no mercy being shown by that front group. Legs are going, and as Greg says, pop, legs have gone. And look at the pace now. Tom Howe's going to wait for that second group, and he's got them coming up quick. They're currently sitting at about 24 seconds behind. Now we're going to see, I think Kai and Rich are going to wait up. We've got Greg just distancing. No way he's going to get back on again. Back in with Russ here. Just going to move our way up towards the front in with Kooslugs at the moment. Neil from the crosscast is tracking the back wheel of the man on the lead at the moment, and that is Kieran Brown. Kieran Brown putting another little dig in here. Goes uphill. Brown now at 6 watts per kilo. Just starting to stretch out those riders behind him. So in the green, there is going to be Kieran Brown of Sherwood Pies. Then it's Conley behind him. So Conley doing the work to bring back Adi Dench. Then in the red jersey, sitting in third wheel on your screens. Fourth wheel is going to be House. Then it's Herring in the grey with the green stripe. That Downing cycling kit. Neil from the crosscast in the black. Then Mason, the fat cyclist, in the red and black with the disc wheel on. Behind him is Taylor with that orange Tron bike. And just seeing Craig Genther just put a little bit of a dig in to get himself back on again. The gap's just opening a little bit behind them here. Everyone working to close them back down again very, very quickly. You can see just how fast that gap goes. Once you are distanced from the pack, you are in major, major trouble. So the riders on the way into town here. This is our leading group. They're going to be heading along really, 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 really fast here. So they're giving it some now. As you see, they are coming through. They are working really, really hard here. Let's see if they can hold the pace as they head through town. It's not fractured up too much now. This is group number 1 that's just come through. Group number 2 behind, well, that is the Simon Runner group, just about coming at 1:58. You've got riders in between, and that second group is working very, very hard indeed. We're going to jump back a little bit further. Let's take a little bit of a look, as it looks to me like Russ just starting to pay the price of that, and Coleman just struggling as well. So our leading group just about 6 seconds up on Russ. Somebody's opened the gas once again, and just continues to push up. We're working our way backwards. We got Kai Hurst and Pillsworth, then it's Oral, and then 42 seconds back is Pritchard. This is group number 2 on the road at the moment, just coming into town here. So this is group 2 on its way through town with stragglers in between. But look at the size of this group. It is huge, and it is going to start sweeping up those riders really, really quickly, and it's well drilled as well. They're working together. You can see the shape of the riders, that pack all nailed together. It is clustered up together like there's a huge magnet in between them, pulling them all in. Nobody's going off the front. Saysel on the front of that group at the moment. Dorsey sitting second wheel in there. These riders working hard but looking really, really good together. So just taking a look back. So who is behind this group? Well, let's take a little bit of a run through the pack here. They're just heading out from town in this group. We're going to have to go quite a way back. I think this is the Ben Coking group. So Coking and Stevens, remember, distanced from the riders in front. This is now 3 riders. So Ferrin, Coking and Stevens. Then it's going to be Hayward, then Briggs. And then this is the Sonia Inslee group in here. So Sonia Inslee in here. And I think Brian Smith is in here as well. Harley Hobbs is in here. And then it's Mike Killingsworth. And he's got Andy Hawes with him. Now let's see if we can do a little bit of magic and talk to Andy Hawes.
Now then.
Andy, how are you?
Oh, hanging in there, mate. Hanging in there. In a sweatbox of a hotel room.
Well, we knew you weren't going to be at home. We were out on tour, and that group was going really, really strongly, wasn't it?
Oh, mate. Russ has done something really bad, and he going go, go, go before the top of the climb. I hung on, and mate, it's not a pretty sight here in this hotel room.
I'm sure it's not. And what does everybody else on tour think of you in that hotel room on your own?
Fortunately, I'm on the ground floor room tonight. On Tuesday, I was in a upper floor room, so I guess the people below might have kind of wondered what was going on.
Well, listen, mate, before you get into town for the sprint, we're going to let you go. Cheers for chatting, and good luck to the finish. Just think there's only a couple of climbs to go.
Oh, yeah. Cheers. Cheers, Matt.
So great to catch up with Andy Hawes out on tour, heading through town here into the sprint. But as you can see, Andy now 48 seconds down on this big chasing group. Sonia Inslee in with this group as they go up and head out of town. Remember, they're chasing group number 2, who are about a minute up now. Group 2 just coming up the climb here, with Holmes has been swept up in here, Callaway's in here, Runnett's in here. Let's jump up the road, and the gang at the front, it looks to me like it is all over the road here. So let's take a little bit of a look. This is the very, very front of the group. So this is our leaders now. A little bit of action in that front group, just splitting up as they came up and over the aqueduct, and you can see we now are down to 5 leading riders. The chase is on behind with Craig Genther leading that chase. So at the moment we have Burko on the front. Burko sat there in the grey kit with the green Tron bike. Then it's Howe sitting in second wheel. He's in the black alongside Kieran Brown. Kieran Brown in the green there. Then it's going to be the fat cyclist is moving up as well. That's Mason in the red and black. Not a man to discount if it comes to a sprint. Downing just about holding the back wheel there, but Genther and Herring are in there as well. So Craig Genther with the Bridgestone bike, the lightweight, the Menstein lightweight wheels in there. Downing is currently riding, of course, what else would Russ be riding but a Pinarello. That's interestingly gone for some lightweight wheels for the climb. Heart rate up at 143. Remember, he's saying 143 and he gets cooked. Meanwhile, it looks to me like Craig Herring just about to make contact with this group. He's on lightweight wheels. In he comes here. You can just see he's got some deep rim aero wheels. So now he bolsters the group here. So the man in grey leading out from the man in grey, with the man in grey in the pack, and man in grey moving up strongly on the right hand side with Craig Herring putting in a monster ride there to move up onto the front and close that gap down. Remember, he had been distanced. He's moved back up again. Great riding by Craig there. Now behind them, the chase is on, and it is from this group, but they are not going to make this. It is 15 seconds to the leading group from this. This is group number 2. So this contains Conley with the black helmet and the pink and purple kit on the right hand side there. AD Dench in the Bikes and Beers jersey on the front. Taylor moving up on the right hand side with the red stripe down from top to bottom. Then you can see at the moment we've got it looks like young Tom Lindley has made this group. Lindley's in here. So Tom Lindley in here. Is he going to be able to move back up to the group? And they are flying. They are not doing badly. They're still holding that leading group at about 12 seconds here from the gang at the front. So it's 12 seconds of the group on the front at the moment, leading them onto the climb. And this is now the final climb. This is the run up on to the Petite KOM. And it looks like Kieran Brown is not waiting for this to will get wound up. He's already gone from the front here. So that's Kieran Brown now on the front, being chased behind Craig Genther doing the work on that Bridgestone. But then behind him, Mason now coming up onto his wheel in the red and black there. So it looks to me like it's Mason in the red and black now pushing up on to the front. These guys really starting to stretch it out. You can just see that this group is now in trouble behind, and the gaps are starting to open. They cannot afford to let them go, because once they open, you are in trouble. So it's Brown, then it is Mason in the red. Genther sat on the wheel of Mason right on his heels. Then a little gap to House now. Downing trying to hold on to those wheels there. Then it's going to be Craig Herring, the man who just chased back on again, now starting to be distanced. Then it's Burko behind him. It looks to me like it's about 15 seconds to that chasing group at the moment. But our leader, it is Kieran Brown, who continues to stretch the legs of those riders behind. And the principal actor chasing down at the moment. It is going to be Mason pushing on hard. Then it's Genther. Well, he said his legs were getting stuffed, but you know what? He's doing a great job of trying to hold them. But look at the numbers. He's let that go now, and it's going to be down to Mason. That was a recovery and another kick, but I'm not sure he's got it in there. House just being distanced, Burko being distanced, Downing being distanced. Now, if you ride in within yourself, you could chase down a lone leader. A solo rider on the front can be chased down by the riders behind. However, they're not a cohesive group behind. They are in ones and twos. And Mason at the moment is 2 seconds down. Genther at 7. House at 13. Burko at 14. Downing at 15. Herring 30. 34 for Lindley, Dench, Neil and Co. So Craig Herring, after disappearing away and opening up the gap, you can see that the pack are coming in behind him here. So remember, Herring made that leading group. He's now been distanced, and he's going to see Neil from the crosscast coming up on him and going to be able to push him. But Herring responds to it, so Herring now leading this chasing group. Now, if this group stay together, they have got a chance of closing down the leaders, dependent on the gap. It's still only 31 seconds between our leader, Kieran Brown, and that chasing group. There are 33 seconds to Dench, 34 to Herring and Martin. But look at this, Kieran Brown continues to push, but he's on his own. Mason's the nearest rider to him, 9 seconds down. Genther sitting, chasing the rider in front, chasing down Mason. Then it's 10 seconds back to Downing, so that's 21 to our leader, 23 to the 25 to the leader is House. Then it's Burko, and then it's Neil from the crosscast, who is absolutely mullering this climb. He's got to bring the group up together. It will be no good if he's on his own to bring back the leaders on the front. As the gap has gone out, it's now up at 46 seconds, and such is the pace at the moment of Kieran Brown. So Brown on the offences, he is up on the front, definite ride on for him. Then it is Mason chasing behind. Drop that thumbs up, that ride on. Then Genther putting in a heck of a ride here. He is in third place, and he's got Mason for company. If they back off a little bit, they're going to see Downing, but Downing's gap, you can see just how big that is. Should we give Russell the ride on? Why not? Now Howes goes past him, and it's Howes who's now leading the chase behind the top three. Genther continues to kick and rest, and that is a sign of a tired rider. He's not sitting and holding the pace. If you look at Mason, Mason is sat here just holding the pace nice and smooth at the moment. I mean, it's huge watts, don't get me wrong, but he's holding that 95, 96 revs per minute, that style that saw him climb up the Von top at some speed. And it looks like he is at 14 seconds at the moment to Kieran Brown. So the Petite KOM currently held by Russ Downing at 7 minute 40, and that was when he moved from the back, put in the go, and then attacked off the front. Kieran Brown now up on the front. He is 15 seconds up on the fat cyclist Mason and Genther, but Craig Genther with him as well. 20 seconds back now to House Downing, 25 or so back from the fat cyclist to Burko, but 40 down on the way over. Now this group here behind 80 Dench, this group need to get together on that descent. There is a lot of people they can catch here. So this is Dench, Daryl Tattershall Waller immediately behind him on that orange troll bike. Neil from the crosscast in the all black. Then it is Lindley on his way up here. Lindley moving, and Herring is in here. They ride together. There are targets to hit for. You've got Burko, you've got Howes, you've got Downing, who are all coming up towards the gantry. Mason is in front and has just gone through it with Genther and Mason both setting PBs. Genther right up on the top, but they are chasing the man already on the descent. We're going to have to let Genther get over the top here to see exactly what that gap is. The fold in the map right on the riders here. So on the way up over the top, you can see Kieran Brown has 31 seconds. That is a phenomenal lead, but he's not the heaviest rider. Now, if the two riders behind can get this together, Genther and Mason, they've got some serious firepower there. The chase is on behind. You see riders scattered all the way over the hillside here, and even that big chasing group of Dench, along with crosscaster Neil, Herring and Lindley here, who are on the way up here. Lindley just distanced a little bit. Lindley needs to push on here. Time to push, Tom. You've got to be on before you get over the top. You're going to be distanced. They've got to work hard here. Lindley has to get on here. If he doesn't get on before the descent, he's going to get spat by the group in front of him. So let's go rain a few ride-ons on these riders as they go up and over here. So Lindley now has to get back on. It's about 3 seconds to the riders in front. Will he be able to make the junction? Look at the gap. You can see it on your screens here. He has to move fast. The longer he leaves it, the further that gap will go out. Let's take a view from Lindley. He's got to get on here. They need his help as well. We know he's a quick rider, but it's at 1 second at the moment. He's absolutely flat out behind them. Russ Downing working hard, trying to close down on this man. It is Sherwood Pine Cycles rider. It's Kieran Brown. Brown trying to make his way down to the straight. Even if we zoom out, we still can't see the finish. So Brown leading in 1. Genther and Mason together in 2 and in 3 respectively. 4 is Burko, 5 is House, 6 is Downing, 7. Now that is going to be, I think it's going to be a Dench group, so it's Dench in 7 at the moment, Crosscast Neil in 8, Darren Waller in 9, Craig Herring in 10th, Lindley at 11th place, and you see he's still sitting at 3 seconds. He didn't get on at the end of the climb, and that is now costing him a huge amount of time. Martin distanced a little bit further back. We're just looking for Conley on that descent as well, but they are all left chasing the man on the front, and that is Kieran Brown with a 1:18 gap on Russ Downing at the moment. And this is the man leading them down. He's going to be down onto the level section in towards the finish here. So Kieran Brown now at 340 watts, just riding in with him. He's just keeping it nice and smooth at the moment, and he's going to try and push his way in and through. So is Kieran Brown leading this out? He's got 20 seconds on these two. Now Mason, we know, has got a massive kick on him. He's got some serious speed, but Genther is getting quicker and quicker and quicker. He's ridden with the Chaingang, and we've seen his progression week in, week out, and they are in pursuit of the points rider. It's down to 15 seconds now. The two riders together are going to be able to play. You can see the watts difference. The watts per kilo, 5.7 for Kieran Brown there, and he wasn't going clear of Mason and Genther, who are at 13 seconds now. 11 seconds is the gap. This is about putting the pressure on. This is where Mason, if Mason and Genther work together here, they could have him. The time is running out for them. It's just around that right hand turn. They have got to push now. They know that Brown is there. You can just see them in the distance behind him. You can see that 2 figures behind. They're going to try and chase him. I don't think they're going to be able to get him back at this stage now. 7 seconds is the gap. He's going to round the bend. He's literally only got a few meters here to do to get himself in. He's already going in over the sprint line on the run-in. Here comes the gantry. It is going to be Kieran Brown who takes it. So Brown takes the victory. He was absolutely flying on Tuesday. He's flying once again, quickly off the pace there. Behind, it's going to be Mason who takes second with that massive kick. Then it's Genther who goes in 3rd place. Now we're going to drop back for that battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. It's going to come out of one of these 3 riders. So this is the fight for 4th, 5th and 6th places. Who has got the pace? Who's got the sprint? Who's got the speed here? It's Downing who could be leading this out. He's up at 7 watts per kilo. House is almost holding him. Burko sat behind him at 4 watts per kilo. Now House comes. House is on the turn round him. Is Russ going to get rolled here? Did he ease off deliberately there to get a roll in towards it? It's going to be close between these two. Here we go into the line. It is going to be Downing who takes it. Downing goes through, then House and Burko. Great riding by them on the way in. Next group coming in here. It is all over the road after that early pull of the pin by Russ Downing. And you can just see, I think that's Neil who's got the feather going. He's trying to reduce his weight down. It won't make any difference on a flat road though. And you can see the big guns behind him just starting to sprint. In the grey, here he comes over the top. It's going to be Herring. Herring takes it. Dench in 2nd place. Neil from the Crosscast in 3rd place. Darren Waller in 4th place in that group. Absolutely flying. Tom Lindley didn't make contact. 31.31 seconds down as he came in to the finish, and that was literally 1 to 2 seconds near the top of the climb. 3 seconds he came over the top. Absolutely storming ride by young Tom Lindley. Big watts per kilo, just seen 12 watts per kilo from him on his way out there, and absolutely nailing it on his way in through the finish. Now next in is going to be Martin, our next rider in. He is picking his way in to the finish. Absolutely tough stuff today. A nice 7.2 watts per kilo as he goes into the gantry. Behind him then is going to be Taylor. So Taylor with a gap on Conley, and definitely time for me to fuel on some Grand Tour coffee as we come in here. So Taylor now pushing in to the finish. Great ride by Taylor. And, good to see Rob doing the business yet again. Always up there. Next in is going to be Martin Conley. Conley, our next rider, heading in for that finish. So it's going to be Conley on his way through. and then it is going to be Mr. Pritchard as Mr. Mason reminding everybody, please remember guys, you need to be putting your Facebook pictures as you come in through the finish. Just watching Kooslugs come through just ahead of Pritchard. Simon running, another good ride by Hink. Darby sprinting in here, storming right here by Darby as he comes. Is Darby going to take this? It is, it's Darby. Then it's Ambrose coming through behind him. Malin, Osman, Saysel. Cooper 23 seconds down on them. He would have wanted, he would have fancied his chances had he been able to hold them in the sprint. So in he comes, Tim Cooper, the next rider in. Big group behind, though, who is going to have the sprint out of them on the way in here. It is going to be tough stuff. You can't discount any of these riders. They go into the finish, and I think just going through that was Callaway, followed by Wimble, Ball, Pillsworth and Samul. As they came through behind them, though, Dorsey down on his way into the finish. Behind Nick Clear, air back to Rich Orrell in the group here as they turn on to the straight here, and you can just see the gaps have gone, and it's going to be Tom Holmes is going to take this. So Tom Holmes from Mick Clark, and then it's going to be Rich Orrell. Great riding by the gang, and look at this, everyone in 2s or 3s. He said it was a day for the breakaways. We didn't really think it was going to break this much, but who would have predicted that Russ was going to be quite as mean as he was. So here we go, coming around the corner on the way in to the finish here. And just look at the pace here as we're just seeing Coleman come through. Coleman on a seated sprint, a Clancy style sprint there, coming in just ahead of Sutcliffe. So it's Coleman, Sutcliffe, and then Catley coming through. It's like Paul Coleman just behind. Then it's going to be Dr. D, who's going to be on his way. He's got Vin Donahue on his heels. So let's have a little look. Well, look at this, it's going to be a really good sprint here, but it is going to be Dr. D who takes it in through the line, then Vin Donahue behind him. Shelley Charles on his way to the line. Charles is going to be our next rider through. Trevor Crehan just ahead here, Trevor, just ahead of Barnard, Cokin, Stevens and Richardson, but he is going to have to watch his back here. So it is going to be Crehan coming through, then it's going to be Barnard behind him. Cokin's at 30 seconds, so a little way out at the moment. Stage 4 post open for comments, and great riding by Ben Cokin there as he comes in and through the finish. Stevens going to be our next rider in towards the line, and remember guys, the stage 4 photos available for posting. The post is open for you to put your pictures on. Make sure you've got your avatar on there as well. So Stevens our next rider in. He's not got all that much distance on the group behind, and here they come. You can just see they are absolutely moving here, and Richardson flying. Richardson just in a 9.6 watts per kilo from Richardson. I think he's going to come in front. You can just see, remembering to kick that last little bit, not wanting to be caught. Then it's going to be Stevens coming in behind him. So it was Richardson, then Stevens, then Taylor, and then Briggs. Another good ride by Briggs here. Man is getting quicker and quicker all the time on the Chaingang here. Now Scollins, our next rider in to the straight. He's got 3 seconds on Davis at the moment, and that's not all that much. It sounds a lot, but it definitely isn't. As you come into the finish, just see Davis behind him. So it's going to be Scotland, the next rider in through the line, then Davis chasing hard all the way to the line. Looks like he's going to literally freewheel over to get his picture over the line. Well done, mate. Then Sonia Inslee. Next up are riders coming in to the finish here. So Sonia Inslee, despite racing yesterday and then doing on top before, comes in and through. Great riding by Sonia. First of the female riders in through the finish. Next in is going to be Cannon. Again, another rider who is improving week on the Donny Chaingang. So Cannon goes through, then it's going to be Richards. We're just looking for a little bit of a gap to get back to Rust. I suspect after John Finney we're going to have a little bit of a gap. So Ferrin on his way in here. So Ferrin coming through. He's got Harley Hobbs with him. So it's going to be Harley who comes through with Ferrin. So Harley Hobbs comes through second of our female riders going through there with Sean Ferrin behind him. Then it's going to be Finney and Hayward. We're going to have about a minute and a half gap back after that, so we'll just keep an eye on the map when that happens. So Finney and Hayward are together, Finney on the front here, Hayward on the back, and both these riders together. This is going to be quite close, I suspect, coming in. They've both been working really hard here, and of course Finney for the Stellaton, one of the members of the club, donating bottles to the prizes. Hayward with a little bit of a push there, trying to push on, but it is Finney who goes through. Hayward easiest to get the pictures, and our next round on the road should be Caroline Mansfield, which should give us a chance to get across to a rather poked bear. Russ, how are you?
Oh, that's a no.
I'm not surprised, I bet that hurt.
Yeah, it was good though, just, if in doubt, go long.
Well, there's long, and that was, the group was almost completely together as you came into there, but just in a long line, nobody expecting it to go at that point, just before the top, and he absolutely put it in smithereens. But do you know what? It really worked, because you could see the groups that were formed behind and people getting caught, being absorbed by a group, trying to push on to the next one. And absolutely brilliant stuff after we'd seen some great work bringing people back early on.
Yeah, it's that, see the red beacon went out the back just before I called go, and it's just that bottom bit that really hurts, whatever speed you're at. And if I'm honest, that's where I got dropped the last time up it, just before the climb properly starts, and it's like, oh, it's like one of the sayings, it's one notch above comfortable, and you're like, I'm out of here, and that's what it was. And then the guys rode away. But looking at them groups, forming, 2 or 3 came out the front group back to the second group, and then they were all working so well, and there were big groups on the road, which was good to see. And everyone loves it, we push each other along, and that's what we set the gang up for, to help people out in more ways than one, and fitness being one of them.
Indeed, and the guys are absolutely flying. I'm just watching Caroline here, but in great performance again. And Caroline, of course, from Gritty with the socks donated into the prizes and supporting us all the way through the year. In fact, our very first giveaway on the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang, was from Caroline and Gritty. It doesn't seem like it was 7 months ago. We seem to have done a lot of chain gangs.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great to see how many women have continued to come on with the open one, and they all it's great. And I'm sure when the winter kicks off, we'll get more ongoing and well. And it's a great thing. It doesn't matter how fit and how unfit you think you are, you're going to have some great riding partners on the DCG.
Definitely, and good to see so many people riding that course. And it's been really hard today. And I think you were in a whole world of hurt as you came through the line. We were talking to Andy Hawes, but Hawes actually behind Carl Johnson coming through, riding really strongly there once again. And Carl, we talk about riders who have improved. Carl Johnson is definitely right up there.
Yeah, it's sort of, he'll be no shame in saying it at the start. He was a rugby player, wasn't he? He always had knackered knees, bandages on his knees, and he's just trying to get fit. And amazing now, and like I said, he loves it. So it's all good fun. It's definitely worked.
Yeah, a lot of work being done by Carl early on there to bring riders back together. Just taking a little bit of a look back here, and this looks like this is Martin Bolt's just in front of Mike Killingsworth here. So Bolt on his way to the finish here. So our almost perpetual red beacon on his way in to the finish, doing a good job as he comes in here. So Bolt heading in, and Martin on his way through the finishes. Of course, Martin has done many times before. He's going to go through ahead of Mike Killingsworth. Killingsworth going to be the next rider in. I think Mike just taking it easy. He's waiting for Andy Hawes to catch up. And we caught up with Andy out on the Chaingang in a very hot and stuffy hotel room. But that's part of the appeal, isn't it? We've seen people like Andy, who's outworking them, and he's routing the Tour de France. So the Tour of Britain. And he's out doing the stages for the Tour of Britain, and he's still going out, taking the bike, taking the turbo, and getting a ride in. And it's great to see as we see Andy come through, and that's what it's all about. It's providing something for people that maybe you just can't get out on the bike.
Yeah, he messaged me. He always 10 to 6, he says, "Oh, this is going to be hot," and you look around and you go, "Oh, I recognise that. What is it, Premier Inn?"
Yeah, I know. Anybody who's been on the road on a
regular... I'm sure I recognise the carpet.
Yeah, you recognise the carpet and the fittings, whether it's a Travel Lodge, a Premier Inn, whether it's a Holiday Inn, or it's with any of the big hotel chains, you can generally recognise it. And, great to see Andy in there.
I just told him it was crazy, I said, that's a bit of DCG love right there, mate. I said, I was rushing around, like I said earlier on air, but Andy Hawes out the back of his Skoda, out the back of his Room 10 whatever. It's just like, come on, mate, you're gonna love it.
That's absolute dedication, and got to say, it takes some serious doing. That is for sure. Now, next rider coming in, a rider who was racing at the weekend on a national mountain bike and inspiring a lot of people. In her full gritty kit is going to be Sarah Miss Cookie. On her way into the line, great to see Sarah on the Chaingang and kicking out some big watts per kilo here as she comes in and through the line. Fantastic to see Sarah coming in and through and back in action on the Chaingang, and back with another rider who we've seen improve all the way through, and another rider who I'm looking forward to seeing when we get the women Chaingang in action, because of course Sarah, one of those riders who drags loads of people with her.
Yeah, she loved all that at the start, and like I say, she's great for attracting newbies and that. And so I say it's going to be a few months off, maybe. So we need a bit of a break first, and then we're just going to smash the winter out and get it all rolling again.
Yep, definitely. So in they come, and we've got almost everybody in. Next in is going to be Jim Flynn. I'm going to let you dive off and out of the pain cave. Make sure you're all recovered, ready for the next stage. It's going to be a brutal last week. Next week, isn't it, Russ? We've got, I think we can give it away to non-members now. We've got the Alpe d'Huez, the road to the sky. It's big, it's hard, it's nasty, it goes on forever. But with those time splits, it does break it up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, the hairpins make it a lot easier, don't they? It doesn't get steeper through the hairpins or anything. So yeah, it's dead easy.
Yeah, I'll remind you of that on Tuesday. You said it was dead easy.
I'm going on a diet from Sunday, a few beers, watch the football, and then just go on a diet for 2 days or something.
And regular weighing as well, just to make sure it's coming down. I love it. Definitely. And then we finish off, of course, in Paris. Where else will we finish in Paris? And the question on everybody's lips is, where is the finish line? Is it going to be at the bottom of the hill or the top of the hill? Well, we're not going to tell you till next week, guys. So Russ and I keeping that nice and quiet. No letting on.
I'll give you a little tip. Hopefully the man can keep that colour jersey and we'll finish it on that line.
Well, that would be good. That would be really good to see. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And
in support of green, that's all we're going to say.
That has got to be the one, hasn't it? That is, if you haven't watched the footage of Cavendish A going up the Ventoux and going past the Tom Simpson Memorial, or of course coming in through the finish line with the support of his teammates, yesterday. You do need to make sure you go see that. And of course, today another great day with Connor Swift in action. We won't give any spoilers away, but great riding by Connor once again on the tour, and just seen a couple of comments from him on the feed. Good to see him in action, and it shows you, everybody, it doesn't matter whether you're a newbie or you are a Tour de France rider, the Donny Chaingang is for you.
Yeah, it says he's coming on it the week after the tour, he said.
He must be nuts. I think I want a holiday, never mind going on the Chaingang.
I bet he'll be doing the Hadfield 10 on next Tuesday night, Connor.
That wouldn't surprise me, definitely. Yeah. Right, one more rider to call home. So, Russ, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll no doubt catch up with you before we get into next week. And if you are out on the bike, Russ, enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, and enjoy the mic, mate.
Cheers, bud. So, as Russ has just said, I'm going to be down on the mic live at the Xterra Trail Triathlon down at the X-Trail Triathlon down at the Pippingford grounds down south at the weekend on Saturday, and then on Sunday it is going to be the Victoria Mountain Bike Marathon again in Pippingford. 2 days down there on the bike. Looking forward to getting down there. Hopefully not too late tomorrow, with the traffic dependent, obviously. And we're going to go straight from the studio, pretty much to throw in what's little bits are left to go into the van. So looking forward to catching up. I'm sure there will be plenty of people from the Chaingang down there. If you are, come along and say hi. And then we're back, of course, straight back up again. Up the M1, I'm back into the studio ready for the third week of the Donny Chaingang. So we are going to be bringing you the Donny Chaingang. It is going to be week number 3. It's going to be stages 4 and 5, the Alpe d'Huez, along with the Champs-Élysées stages. We're looking forward to that. Hopefully nobody is going to poke the bear. So let's watch Jim make his way in. He's over that sprint line now, and he's heading in to the finish. You can see the gantry coming in front of him. We are down, of course, in that marina, and here he comes into that finishing straight. So great riding by Jim. If you are one of our riders, remember, guys, get those pictures up on to the Facebook page. So great riding by Jim to come home. Our last rider on the Donny Chaingang now spinning his legs down. So from me, Matt Payne, from Russ, and from everybody on the Donny Chaingang, enjoy the weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing our last week of the Tour de France specials on the screens. We'll be here on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.